Okay.
Good morning, Ekoji. Welcome to Sunday service. My name is Yuko Keicho, and I will be your service leader today. We are grateful for your participation today. The service is being live streamed on Zoom and YouTube. On the 19th today is our resident minister, Rev. Nariyake Hayashi. Our main priority is keeping you safe and deliver a Dharma message. So unfortunately, we are still in restricted conditions. Therefore, please keep in your mind social distancing and each other's comfort level. We are allowed to chant because we are wearing masks. Thank you so much for your understanding. If you are new to Ekoji, you will find in the back of each seat pocket this laminated guide, which will help you through the service and answer many of the questions that you might have. So this laminated sheet will tell you the practices of the services and also history and the essential of Shin Buddhism. Rev. Hayashi will now lead us in opening meditation and recitation of the Nembutsu.
Meditation provides a pause that prepares our mind to receive the Dharma, the Buddha's teachings. Please put your hands on your lap, lower your head slightly, and release tension for meditation. Namo Amida-butsu. Namo Amida-butsu. Namo Amida-butsu.
Please find the 1-minute seat in the service book. We will now sing the Bandana Kisarala, the 3 refugees. Please keep that right.
Ah
Please be seated. Now, please turn to page 39 in the service book. We will now chant Yusege. This morning, the Hayashimi will give the Dharma message.
Good morning, everyone. And good morning to those who are participating through Zoom and YouTube. I hope you are all doing well. The other day I was reading this interesting article, and this article talked about how there are two kinds of endurance or two kinds of perseverance. And today, so I want to kind of share it and kind of talk about it. So the first way of endurance is to endure things or situations passively. To endure things or situations passively. So this would be like following patterns without knowing whether they are reasonable or not. For example, in the cartoon called Peanuts, I believe many of you are familiar with Peanuts. So there was a scene where Charlie Brown was trying to put on his shoes before a baseball game. And Lucy comes into the room, and Charlie tells her how he always puts his left shoe first before his right shoe, because it will bring a good luck and help the team to win. Then Lucy says, but we never win. Linus next comes into the room an hour later and sees Charlie and says, what's wrong? Why haven't you put on your shoes yet? So we all sometimes follow patterns without thinking why. The second kind of endurance is to endure things and situations actively. An example is when you're trying to make your dream come true. So we all have a dream or a target in life, such as what kind of job you want to do, what kind of skills you want to achieve, or what kind of life you want to have. Making dreams into reality takes an awful dedication, determination, effort, self-discipline. And sometimes you can get too concerned with overcoming obstacles or problems. Active endurance can make you so obsessed with enduring that your focus becomes too narrow. An example is a story I shared before of a person who wanted to become an attorney. So this person wanted, spent her entire youth studying to become an attorney. She never partied, she never went out dating, but spent all of her time in front of her desk studying. However, when she turned 20, she was diagnosed as having an obsessive compulsive disorder, which is a mental illness that causes repeated unwanted thoughts and sensations and the urge of doing something over and over again. Her disease caused her to check each answers over and over again when she took the test. As a result, she couldn't become an attorney because every time she took the test, she would run out of time. She became very depressed and started to think that she was a failure as she sacrificed her entire youth to become an attorney, but could not become one. The problem with both the active endurance and the passive endurance is that too much of either is dangerous and can cause a lot of problems. What becomes important then is to balance the two. There is nothing wrong with following patterns in and of themselves. And sometimes there are good reasons why the patterns exist. For example, think of following traffic rules. I have to admit that it is difficult to follow the traffic rules completely, but without them, there will be a lot of accidents. So the pattern of following traffic rules keeps us safe. So too, without the active endurance, you can't be able to achieve anything. That said, anything worth doing takes work to do. So in the case of an attorney, you can't just know one case. You have to know hundreds of them. So you have to endure the study. It is no good to do so much studying that you become obsessive, but it is no good to do so little either that you don't learn enough. So too, it is no good to follow a pattern without thinking, but it is also no good to disregard rules for no reasons. That is why a balance is important in both cases. Balance is especially important because the world would be nice if we did not have to worry about endurance, but we have no choice. As it is stated in the sutra called the Lotus Sutra, those who live in this world must live with the suffering and distress created by the numerous blind desires, such as the three poisons, greed, hatred, and ignorance. Therefore, it is called the world of endurance. Thus, we need to keep the balance because the nature of this world, as Shakyamuni Buddha taught in the first of the Four Noble Truths, that life is full of suffering. There is no choice for us but to endure. But in order to do so, we have to become aware of how we can easily be caught on one side or the other. As it is in the parable of a log floating in a river, in this world of rapid changes, it is inevitable that we become tangled in things, that our log be caught so that it does not flow naturally and easily into the vast ocean. But if we become aware of our tendency that we tend to be on one side or the other, we can realize when to pull ourselves off of obstructions from drifting from one side or the other. However, this is not easy, and it requires practice of examining yourself. Examine yourself. For me, this temple is where I can examine myself. This temple is where I can set aside the business of life and look into myself. Of course, meditating, chanting, reciting Namo Amida Butsu, and listening to Dharma via Zoom is also a good way to examine yourself. What is important is to put yourself in an environment where you can set aside everyday activities for a while to reflect on yourself. We are still in a time of crisis where there's so much things that we have to endure. However, just because so, it is important to constantly examine yourself to keep the active endurance and the passive endurance in balance. Please join me in Gassho. By reciting the Nembutsu Namo Amida Butsu, we are reminded what makes our individual lives even more meaningful, and we are also reminded the Dharma in times of need. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you very much, Rev Hayashi, for very relevant talk today. And we are still in a very challenging situation, and so your Dharma message resonated very much. So now it is the time for ritual of Oshoka. Traditionally, the burning of incense. This is the time to quietly contemplate and reflect on the impermanence of life. Due to the current conditions, we are not allowed to burn incense because it creates smoke. So we are not going to burn incense today. I'd like to invite you to come forward and to the table and offer gassho. And should you wish, please place any dana, which is our offering to the temples, and the sangha in the bowl of the table. Please approach mindfully with the safe distancing. Once finished, please return to your seat from the side aisle. Let Hayashi will now lead us in the closing meditation and the recitation of the names. Now it's announcement time. First of all, planning is underway for Obon 2022. So Obon is back for Ekoji. We are very excited. We need your help. join us on Sunday, February 5th in the Ekoji Zoom room for our first committee meeting. So if you are new to Ekoji and do not know what Obon is, please talk to us and let us know if you're interested in joining the committee. The next announcement is our Dharma discussion group. So the Dharma discussion group will start right after this service. So please gather around the computer if you're interested in joining the Dharma discussion. And if you're on Zoom, just remain on Zoom line. Please continue to respond to us, RSVP, if you wish to attend a service in person. So this will allow us to prepare for services properly. The 2020 Ekoji membership campaign is underway. Your pledge is essential to our longevity as it helps us determine our annual budget, which directly informs our day-to-day operations. Additional information about benefits of membership can be shared by us, long-timers, and any of the board members are here today. Can you raise hands so that people can reach? Yes. Okay. So those people are available for more information about membership. Thursday in-person meditation group at 7:30 p.m. Held here in the Hondo. So if you're interested, come to join meditation session. All are welcome. I think this is all for today. Thank you so much for coming today. Thank you.